How's it going, guys? I came across this tweet on Twitter and I thought I would make a response video of it because I think a lot of people on startup Twitter at least have the same issue, and I've been in similar positions and I think I know how you can actually avoid it. Basically, the tweet goes how this guy has launched 8 projects in the last, and he's launched his ninth one, but he's been having issues. His recent sale, the guy refunded, and towards the end of the tweet, he's like how I think the idea is pretty good, but the market feels otherwise. Nothing is within my control. Can you share some love? Basically, he feels like he doesn't have much control whether his projects succeed or not. And the reason that I'm able to relate to this is because, let me pull this tweet. This is a list of all my projects, and 2016 is when I graduated high school. And basically throughout college, I've been building projects. And the thing is, most of the projects made no money. And only recently, last year, I have made pretty decent money. Let me go over and show you guys. Last year, I created one SaaS, which did 1,000 MR within 3 months. I made another kind of meme, a startup that was like generating pictures of you with abs, and that did 1,000 over like 6 months. And then I created this video startup that we actually exited. And then I had a course which I ran for 4 months, which did over 50,000 of profits. I would say like from going to basically having projects that made no money and finally being able to make money on my projects, I can relate to this tweet because at times it does feel like a lot of things aren't in your control, but things really are. Let me explain. Basically, if we go to this app, it's called crossmyapp.com, and the premise is, so the headline is cross promote your projects in seconds, discover apps and websites to promote your indie project and or offer promotion spots, win-win. Let me pull out a whiteboard and kind of show you guys my thought process of why I think this product is pretty good, but I think his approach is pretty bad, but can be fixed easily. Just based on his tweet, what he's doing is he's mass launching tweet products. Even on his Twitter, you can see that this guy is trying to launch 100 products to find the next unicorn. And I'll explain like why, in my experience, this is a pretty terrible way to actually build profitable businesses, and kind of how you can reverse engineer and not really make it luck based. Let's go to the whiteboard here. And the first thing is, I think having so many projects is a really bad idea. And I kind of learned from that because, as you can see, throughout college, I would mass launch projects. And the reason that it's not as effective as it seems at first, because you don't really focus on improving the offer proposition. What I mean is that when you initially create a project, it might have some traction, but you still need to work on it over a long period of time. And giving up after a week of trying, that's really not effective because you're going to run into the same problem with all your other projects. What you should do, in my opinion at least, is that there's ways that you can validate the idea without actually building it out. There's 2 ways. The first way is you find problems in the marketplace that people are paying money for. This part is important. If you find problems but no one is willing to pay money for it, then that's not really effective. But if you're able to find people that have problems and have the money to pay for it, then that's like the sweet spot, right? You first find problems, and then step 2 is you give an offer where you don't build out any landing page or any project. One way that you can actually validate your project is if you make a mock-up in a Figma, right? You create like a mock-up or a quick Figma prototype that kind of shows how your thing works, where you don't build out any landing page or any projects. The reason that this is a lot more effective is because you're not investing a lot of time before you can actually validate if someone will give you money. Here's what I would have done in this case. I think the offer is actually pretty good. There is a pain point where people need help promoting their projects, and there are people that have audiences that can promote their projects. I think the offer itself is pretty good. The only thing is, this guy, he launched a project with just a landing page and he didn't talk to any customers if they actually needed it. One of the ways that I would have launched it is that I would probably approach 10 people and ask them, would you pay me $100 if I got you in front of a newspaper in your target audience that could promote your project, right? That's one way where you don't build anything, but you can still validate if someone is willing to pay. Yeah, that's one example. And then the other thing is, this guy found a problem, which is that people have issues promoting their product and there are people with audiences. Essentially, this is a marketplace where he's connecting people with products to people with audiences. I would have made a mock-up and then I would have approached 10 people and asked them if they would pay if I could get them featured on a landing page or a newspaper. This way you can actually test to see if people will pay before building out anything, and it makes the iteration a lot faster, because if no one pays, then you know that this really isn't a painful problem, right? You find problems first and then you get people to pay without building anything. That's my thoughts on the tweet and how most people can avoid this problem of launching multiple things without getting any customers.